thing. We're fighting for what I'm fighting for right now, and I'm not doing this in music. This is not about rap. I'm an artist. This is about life. I'm trying to be real because the internet isn't real. There's so much shit that happens online, and people.
What happens when America is finally forced to look at itself? Not in a history book, not in a court case, but in a music video, 3 minutes long, where a man dances through chaos with a smile and a loaded gun. Because Childish Gambino didn't just go viral, he held up a mirror. And what we saw staring back wasn't entertainment. It was everything we tried to hide. Donald Glover didn't ask to be a revolutionary, he just refused to play one role. And in doing so, he became all of them. Donald Glover was never supposed to be a rapper. Too quirky, too smart, too everything. He was raised in Stone Mountain, Georgia, a place where race was still whispered and ambition had boundaries. But Glover didn't color inside any lines. He wrote for 30 Rock before his 25th birthday, starred in Community as the lovable goof, then quietly built a monster in the shadows, Childish Gambino.
Push up up in the styrofoam, I'm in zone 68, my zone. Everything is stepped on. You say it is so timid where you got stepped. With me, yeah. We drinking something now. In the night. No lie.
I don't think it's good unless it's fun. Like I think people always say like, oh, you go from job to job or like you do a bunch of stuff, but I'm just following the fun. Whatever feels good and feels like an interesting thing at the time, I'm gonna go with that because that's there of like I can't do anything because they see me as a rapper. Like that's my superpower that people don't see me as a rapper.
Kanye was supposed to have a show on HBO.
Who?
Kanye, remember? He was supposed to have
an alter ego, a vessel, a mirror that didn't reflect him, but reflected us. And when Camp dropped, it wasn't about the flex. It was about the fracture, the awkward kid, the code switcher, the token. He made them all sacred. Now imagine this. President Gambino. He doesn't take the stage in a suit. He arrives shirtless, with wide eyes and blood on his hands, the symbolic kind. There's no anthem, just the hum of Redbone in the background. And no promises, only questions. First executive order? No more pretending. Let's make America watch itself. Second, every police station gets a screening room. His press conferences look like performance art. His cabinet, comedians, rappers, outsiders, painters, poets, no handlers, just storytellers. And his office, a soundstage, a set, a trap disguised as truth. Because this president doesn't govern with laws. He governs with layers.
Yeah, I think that's important. I think that's why we made sure that we had more than one kid. I feel bad for only kids just because I feel like, yeah, they get a lot more attention probably, but if you're like, is mom and dad crazy?
Explain it, I'm so into you. Let's stay together. You and me, like what you've done to me. I can't.
I need to be alone like the way you left me. You start calling, but she not my real girlfriend. She got a key to my place, but she not my real.
Know that I am ready to go.
Usually it's weirdly, it started like regionally. Like if I was in Canada, you were a community fan. Like you were a community fan. Like you're doing that, come on, we gotta do the shake thing. And then
Gambino's America isn't a utopia. It's a simulation. He doesn't fix the system. He exposes it, one scene at a time. In this nation, TV is weaponized. Music videos are confessionals. And the internet, a church, a court, and a firing squad. Atlanta becomes the Constitution. Surreal, hilarious, terrifying. Because in Gambino's world, every laugh hides a lynching. Here, we don't get resolution. We get reflection. And the motto? Stay woke, but understand why you ever slept. The industry didn't know where to place him. Too weird for hip-hop. Too black for comedy. Too smart for silence. They mocked because the internet. Then watched it become a cultural artifact. They called Awaken, My Love, a curveball, until it broke charts and expectations. And when This Is America dropped, they couldn't look away. But some did anyway, because when the mirror shows you the monster, you either face it or break it. and America chose the latter, again. They wanted more hits. He gave them ambiguity. They wanted TikToks. He gave them trauma and symbolism. Fans begged for more albums, but Gambino vanished. Because Glover never promised consistency, only authenticity. The betrayal wasn't personal, it was structural, a system that consumes art without digesting its meaning, that claps for "This is America," then scrolls past the next police shooting. He left us with riddles, with visuals, with ghosts, and maybe that was the point. Childish Gambino isn't gone. He's everywhere. He lives in the sound design of your favorite film, in the tone of a protest chant that no longer needs explanation, in the silence between comedy sketches where truth echoes louder than punchlines. He's the phantom limb of culture, the artist who stopped explaining himself, who turned down awards, turned up the discomfort, and walked off set while the audience was still clapping. You don't hear him much, but you feel him.
I'm just trying to pass all the red lights and the stars.
2 dates and you still wanna get it in, and they're saying it's because of the internet. Try once and it's on to the next. Still don't have the time to kiss me. Just hit me.
In every piece of black art that refuses to smile first, he isn't just an artist. He's a system disruptor, using beauty as bait. So what if Childish Gambino ran your country? Maybe he already does. Through the screens you scroll, through the uncomfortable laughter you swallow, through the visuals you can't unsee. He doesn't give answers. He gives you yourself, raw, exposed, haunted. He didn't come to fix America. He came to show it what it is when no one's watching. And maybe that's the most radical act of all. Not changing the story, but forcing the audience to admit they've always been part of it. So, if you ever feel confused, unsettled, or inspired after a Gambino project, that's not the end. That's the beginning of consciousness.